Hey y'all, Kevin here, and this is Purereviews, where I review all kinds of products. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you find this video helpful, please hit that like button, leave a comment, and maybe share with a friend. All those really help out the channel a ton. So today's product that I'm about to share with you is available directly from their website or on Amazon. So check out the links in the description that will take you to the various pages where you can check out the current price points, see if they're on sale, use any of the coupon codes, etc. So what is it? So today's product is by a company called Blurams, and it is a 2K doorbell camera. This is the box it's going to come in once you order it, and we're going to go over all the parts and pieces that you get with this. Now, with that said, I have personally owned the Arlo doorbell camera, not the one with the built-in camera, but the doorbell itself that uses the Arlo cameras itself. And I've also owned a Chime camera that came with my security system, and then this is the third camera. Now I want to touch on one of the aspects that this camera has that I actually really like. It includes a doorbell, so you can plug that in and you can actually hear the doorbell. So the Chime one that I have right now doesn't include a doorbell, so you really have to rely on the fact that you have your phone with you all times. Otherwise you don't hear if somebody's at the door. They press that button and it doesn't chime. If you don't have your phone on you, you don't know somebody's at the door, which is a big downfall for that aspect. Now, the Arlo camera that I had, you required to have that third-party camera, and then there was always a delay with the camera, and so I just didn't care for those two features. So let's go over the details of this camera right here, and so you can see if it is something that will work perfect for you. Okay, so the Blurams camera, one of the nice things about this, it is wire-free. So you don't have to worry about doing the low voltage electric lines. You don't have to worry about hooking it up to your existing doorbell. You can abandon all that system and use this separately if you wish. Once you open it up, you are going to get the hardware, the two screws that you're going to use to install it, and an Allen wrench. You are going to get a USB to USB micro to charge it up when the battery is dead. And then you are going to get a user manual. And we're going to go ahead and show you how to install this and show you how to install it in the app and all that. The app and stuff is going to be running at the side of the screen. Then you are going to get a doorbell that you can plug into any standard outlet. This is really, really nice because if somebody's at the door and you don't have your phone with you, there's no way of you knowing somebody's at the door because that notification only goes to your phone. Well, here with this product, it goes to this doorbell too, so you can hear basically if somebody's at the door. It's super easy to pair. You're just going to hold down that button and press the button on the doorbell, and then it has right here a volume button to adjust how loud it is, and then in the middle is a little music note, and that's going to change basically the doorbell tones for you. Now, and then the final thing is going to be the doorbell and camera itself. Here is the housing unit. This is what's going to kind of help protect it from the elements. Now, this does have an IP66 rating, so it is good with like wind and snow and rain and all that. But it's always a good idea to kind of put it under a covering on your porch, and then has this little housing here to help it. It also keeps it a little secure here because you can put in that screw at the bottom, which screws into there. Now, obviously, if somebody has a screwdriver, they can basically take that off, but they have you covered because if somebody moves this, it does have the ability to turn on an audible alarm. This thing will just start blaring. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, there are two little holes here. This is where you are going to basically screw it into the wall. And then it also has this peel and stick tape here on the back to give it that extra stickiness. If you don't want to use the screws, you can use the tape, or you can use both to keep it extra super secure. Now, when this does come, it does have this little protective cover right here over the camera. So just make sure that you peel that off before using it. And as you can see, so right here, sorry, I said the camera. This is the detection, the motion detection. So make sure you peel that off. Right here is the camera, and then right there is the doorbell. On the back side, behind this little rubber thing right here, this is where you're going to have basically the on-off switch to turn it on. This is where you're going to plug it in to power it up. This is the little sensor that I was telling you about. If somebody tries to steal it, it's going to set it off. Here's a reset button. And then they have a micro SD card slot, which will allow it to record footage for you. So the micro SD card was good up to 128 gigabyte card. And like I said, it will allow for you to record that footage longer for multiple days, basically until it erases on that card. They include 24 hours of record footage automatically in the cloud. That's one of the nice things about Bluram here. That is base included. So you have a 24-hour record, no matter what, no upcharges, no extra fees, as of the time of this recording at least. Now, of course, if you want to pay additional, they can extend that past 24 hours in the cloud. And if you do those, you don't need to use the SD card option at all unless you want to. I personally like to just use the SD card. So they give you basically some customizable options depending on what your budget is. Now, it will record up to 10 minutes. So that is the max it's going to record before it has to reset and re-trigger and all that kind of information. Now, as far as the battery life, that is drastically going to be different depending on how often the camera is triggered and how often the button is pressed and how often you choose to talk through the camera. So battery life, that's kind of I would say plan on getting about a month worth of battery life with normal use. It does have 120 standby days. So obviously that's closer to 3 months, but that's with very little use. If you really have this motion sensor being detected all the time and it's constantly recording throughout the day, that battery life is going to drop. And that is across the board with battery-powered cameras. So just keep that in mind depending on your setup. I personally don't like it to trigger all the motion with trees and whatnot. I really only like to trigger it when somebody's pressing it, or if I'm going out of town or something, then I may change those settings. As far as the camera itself, so it is a 2K resolution. So it is better than a lot of the cameras on the market that have the 1080p. It does better resolution than that, but it is not quite to the 4K level as some of the higher end cameras, but that is shown in the price point of this camera. So keep all those in mind. Now, it does have 4 infrared lights, so it means it will make it really nice and bright to see at night if somebody comes up to your doorbell. And because of those infrareds, it can detect up to 16 feet away from the camera at night. As far as the viewing angle, it does have a 120-degree viewing angle, so it has a nice wide angle for capturing all around the doorbell, which is perfect for those package deliveries if somebody's setting it down or something like that to the adjacent to the camera. It will be able to keep an eye on those. It has all the standard features that you would expect in a typical doorbell, which is that AI face recognition. It has that feature in it. It has the two-way audio, so if somebody presses the button, you don't want to go to the door, or you're not home, you can act like you're home and you can talk to that person saying if it's a sales call or if it's a package or whatnot. So it has that feature in it, and it also has immediate alerts to your phone. It can pop up the notifications and all of that kind of information. Now this is also, you can hook it up to the social media voice controls out there, so it does work with Google Assistant or Amazon's Alexa if you want to have it show up on your, basically like your Alexa show, or if you want to talk up to those devices to your doorbell and check in. Now, one last thing before we kind of install this and show you some footage is when you are hooking this up to your home network, it does run on a 2.4 gigahertz network. So just keep that in mind. If you are struggling with that and you have a 5 gigahertz router, you're going to have to break those apart and make sure it is on the 2.4 if your router's not smart enough to know automatically to switch. That is very standard across all kinds of cameras, printers, and other devices of these smart home applications. It's very rare out of at least all the products I've tried throughout the years of having that 5 gigahertz. So that's very, very common, but I did want to point that out in case you're troubleshooting and you're on this video and you're having issues connecting your network. It could be that issue. So that is basically all the settings that I wanted to cover. So let's go ahead and install it, let you see the daytime footage, the nighttime footage, so you get a good idea of how the doorbell works. And we'll roll that now. Alright guys, that is the ins and outs of this doorbell by Bluram. I hope you thought it was useful. If you are in the market for a basically digital doorbell camera and you don't want to mess with the electricity or the wires, I do highly recommend this guy. It works very, very well, and Bluram does make great products in my opinion. If there was something that I did not cover, feel free to hit me up in the comment section. I do typically respond to those. Like I said, check out the links in the description. That will take you to the various product pages so you can check out more information. I've also reviewed an outdoor security camera by Blurams, so I'm going to include that also in the description in case you're curious and want to check that out and have multiple cameras in their ecosystem. And yeah, so that is it. So until the next video, you guys take it easy. Later. Congrats, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated for the support. Be sure to hit that like button on the video. It really, really does help out. And if you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when new videos come out on this channel.